Well, the first reaction coming in from the Congress party, what we are hearing is that Jairam Ramesh has attacked the Prime Minister over his recent interview to the magazine. In fact, he's saying that in this interview to Newsweek, which is an American magazine, the Prime Minister only comment on China's repeated infringements on Indian sovereignty was that India-China border situation needs to be addressed urgently to resolve the abnormality in bilateral interactions. In fact, Mr. Jairam Ramesh goes on to say that the Prime Minister had a chance to send out a powerful message to China. However, his ineffective and feeble response is likely to encourage China further in asserting its claim on Indian territory. He went on to say that the Prime Minister's reaction to the Chinese issue is not just disgraceful, but also disrespectful to the martyrs who made the supreme sacrifice while they defend our borders. The Prime Minister should apologize to the people of India for deceiving them on national television on the 19th of June 2020 with his statement, "Na koi ghusega aur na koi ghusne denge," and keeping the nation in dark about his failures in protecting the borders with China. All right, so it's a very sharp reaction there by Mr. Jairam Ramesh. He's extremely critical of what the Prime Minister had to say in this magazine in the interview over China, where the Prime Minister said, well, the relationship is very important and it's just not important for India, but also for the entire region and the world. I'm going to go straight across first to Pallavi Ghosh. Pallavi, over to you. First of all, just tell us why exactly Mr. Jairam Ramesh feels that the response of the Prime Minister on the relationship of India and China was feeble, was not very effective or powerful.
You know, Avantika, every time the Congress party is caught on a back foot, whether it's on the Balakot airstrike or in the Kachaju incident, this is what they always retaliate with. In fact, when I had spoken to Jairam Ramesh a few days back, and in his latest tweet, he's pointing out that they say that you also no one to attack us because the the BJP itself doesn't have an aggressive, robust policy, and they are not being able to show that lal aankh to Chinese. There have been reports of intrusions by the Chinese into Arunachal Pradesh. The Galwan episode is also something which is often thrown back at them. So I think this is the Congress's attempt also to hit back at the BJP to make the point that they too are very weak when it comes to a national policy or the foreign policy.
It's interesting because CNN News18, Pallavi, got a chance to speak to the reporter where he in fact compliments the Prime Minister for being very graceful and not trying to rake up issues, saying that it is in the interest of the world that India and China maintains a cordial working relationship. And to that, you have Mr. Jairam Ramesh, who's extremely upset to the comments made to the magazine. Pallavi? Okay, we will just get back to Pallavi, but Mr. Jairam Ramesh extremely upset with the response on India-China's relationships. In fact, the Congress leader, the senior Congress leader, saying that the Prime Minister should have been far more stronger in his words against Chinese incursions towards India. And he felt that what the statement was given was very feeble, was very weak. Pallavi is with us. She's joining us back. Pallavi, we were just speaking to the journalist who did this interview, and it's interesting, he in fact was very complimentary in his words for the Prime Minister, where he said that the Prime Minister in fact understands diplomacy, he understands the need of the hour, and he also felt how the Prime Minister senses the importance of this time and how it's important that China and India maintain a peaceful, cordial working relationship.
Well, I mean, the foreign policy, in fact, frankly speaking, not just of this government, but for all governments, has always been to keep your communication channel open. In fact, it's interesting that in the manifesto, the Congress party does mention the need to have a communication open with Pakistan, because only when you're able to talk, we're able to tell them what's wrong with them. So therefore, the Congress today is saying that why is this government even speaking to China and not doing enough? It's something which the BJP is refusing to buy. But again, China is also a point on which the Congress, particularly Rahul Gandhi, I would say, always tries to attack the BJP on, to make the point that you claim to have a robust foreign policy or a national security policy. But when it comes to the Northeast, especially states like in Arunachal Pradesh, the real picture is being hidden by the government, and the government doesn't have any to stand up to China.
Just stay on with me. RP Singh from the BJP also joins us. Sir, this is the latest remark that we have got, the first reaction, in fact, from the Congress party. Pallavi Ghosh just telling us what Mr. Jairam Ramesh said. He now wants the Prime Minister to apologize. He's saying that it was a very weak message, a very weak interview as far as India's stance over China is concerned in the Newsweek magazine. Your response?
Well, who is talking? People who are signatory to an agreement which no one knows about. The two political parties are signatory, the Communist Party of China and the Congress Party of India. They both are signatory to an agreement. Let them disclose that agreement, then they have a right to question anyone on China as an issue. I mean, as per me, Mr. Jairam Ramesh speaks what Congress Party wants them to speak. He is the spokesperson of the Communist Party of China. So, no one bothers about them because everyone knows that their agenda is clearly what China Communist Party has to speak here.
All right. All right. Mr. RP Singh, thanks so much for joining us. Pallavi, thanks to you as well. We'll cut